So imagine that you and your two brothers will share control of the world. One stays with the sky, all-powerful, controlling time, casting lightning. The other takes the sea, dominating everything that is ocean, sailing around. And you? Stay with the underworld, that is, rule the place where everyone goes when they die. Nothing glamorous, right? Well, this is the life of Hades, the most misunderstood guy in Greek mythology. While Zeus and Poseidon shined on Olympus and on the beaches, Hades was there, in the shadows, doing the dirty work, but someone had to do it, right? Okay, so think with me. Hades is one of the three most famous brothers in Greek mythology, along with Zeus and Poseidon. They held a draw to divide the world among themselves. So far, okay, but when Hades will see what's left for him, boom. The underworld. That's right, while Zeus is up there in the heavens, acting like the boss of Olympus and Poseidon splashes around in the seas, Hades gets the baddest part of the story, ruling the dead. The guy basically became the superintendent of a giant cemetery. While the others enjoyed life, he remained there, isolated, among the suffering souls, taking care of the dead and hidden treasures. And look, the underworld wasn't like a luxury office with a view of the sea, no. It was that dark atmosphere, low light, a very cave horror movie vibe. But, of course, Hades wasn't one for drama. He went there, put on the t-shirt and assumed the role of underworld boss. Someone had to make sure that souls stayed safe, right? Even without the perks that Zeus and Poseidon had, he held his tongue. Because, let's face it, governing a bunch of eternal souls also has its side. Interesting, let's say. And so, Hades becomes the king of the dead, but with a very resilient touch, without complaining too much about life, or the lack thereof in this case. Now imagine the following: Hades down in the underworld, already a bit tired of eternal loneliness and with not much company, because let's face it, dead souls don't make great conversation. He decides it's time to find a queen to share the infernal throne. But you know, he's not much for romance or sweet talk. So what does he do? He goes straight to the point and kidnaps Persephone, Demeter's daughter, who was just chilling, enjoying life and picking flowers. Romantic, right? Spoiler, not really. One day, Persephone is out in the fields, probably thinking about what to post on Instagram, when the ground opens up, and Hades pops out with his creepy chariot. No time for small talk, he whisks her off straight to the underworld. Persephone, unsurprisingly, wasn't exactly thrilled with the idea. After all, she ended up in a dark cave, surrounded by wandering dead souls. Not exactly the vacation spot she had in mind, right? Demeter, super protective mom and goddess of agriculture, goes full-on angry mom mode. She basically pulls the emergency brake on the planet's operations. Nothing grows, nothing blooms, and the world starts starving. Zeus, who wasn't in the mood to deal with yet another family crisis, sees that things are getting serious and decides to step in. He comes down with a peace treaty. Persephone will spend half the year with Hades in the underworld and the other half with her mom, back on Earth. And that's how, unintentionally, Hades invented the seasons. When Persephone is with him, Demeter gets all moody, and Earth enters autumn and winter. When she returns to the surface, it's spring and summer, everyone's happy, flowers blooming, sun shining. And Hades, well, he spends the time she's away enjoying his loneliness as usual, but at least now he has a cycle. But before I continue, I need to ask you, are you enjoying it? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos and leave a like. Now, let's talk about Hades' life after all that chaos with Persephone. Despite all the kidnapper-villain fame, the guy wasn't exactly a bad guy. In reality, he preferred to keep to himself, running his underworld smoothly, while his brothers Zeus and Poseidon were always caught up in drama and scandals. Hades enjoyed the tranquility of the underworld. Honestly, who could blame him? Nobody complained down there, there were no privacy invasions, and he was respected for his job well done. To make sure no one left the underworld, or even tried to make a break for it, he had his loyal sidekick Cerberus, the famous three-headed dog that wouldn't let anyone pass the door. This dog wasn't exactly a good boy, but he did his job right, keeping the souls in their proper places. And Hades? He was the perfect manager, organized, practical, and discreet. What a lot of people don't realize is that while Zeus was busy throwing lightning bolts and Poseidon was stirring up the seas with his trident, Hades was there, calmly managing a much more complicated operation, the fate of all the souls in the world. And he didn't put on a show about it. There was no drama or need to grab attention. In fact, this even worked in his favor. as he kept his shadowy empire out of the Olympic spotlight. In the end, Hades was the kind of boss everyone should want, fair, efficient, and he let you be, literally. While the other gods were always caught up in gossip, Hades just wanted to rule his underworld in peace and keep everything running smoothly, or better yet, in the caves. And so the most misunderstood guy in Greek mythology continued to be the general manager of the afterlife, doing the dirty work that nobody else wanted to do. So that's today's video. I hope you liked it. See you in the next story.